Alright, welcome back to Minesweeper. It's been a while since I last did one of these. I think, in the future, I've decided that should I continue this series, it won't be a regular thing. I'm going to keep it to whenever I do have things to actually talk about, for one thing, and the other, and the more important part, I'm not going to do it when I'm feeling under the weather, because, if you saw the last episode, you know exactly why. But nonetheless, I'm here today to talk about, as the title probably suggests, I thought this would be the best avenue to go about, just reflecting on this last year here on the channel, because indeed, I think about the time this goes up, it should be around the time that I actually started the channel, which is in October. And it's been a hell of a year. It's been a crazy year. I think it's been a very interesting learning experience at the very least. It's very different from working as a team. For those of you who do not know, real quick, I started YouTubing, started on YouTube as part of a team. with a friend of mine named Joe. How long ago was that? Like a few years ago at this point. But the group's name is Tengu Drop, and that's where I got my start doing YouTube videos. And as of last year, the reality and real life, being an adult, realities kick in. So unfortunately, we could no longer do Tengu Drop the way that we used to, so we decided to, do solo things. And so, the solo channel was pretty much born from that. The funny story behind it is actually, I originally registered this channel because while working on Tengu Drop, I had originally planned to start branching on into more experimental stuff. Things that didn't necessarily work or were in the same sort of mode that the content that we were doing on Tengu Drop. So I initially registered the channel so that I could have like a experimental testing ground, if you will. And funnily enough, the lead of that was going to be Let's Delve. And so it's interesting how things worked out, because the transition to solo was so unexpected and almost immediate that it was a very stressful time trying to get the channel ready, before reality really kicked in. So it was a very crazy time. I remember it was so crazy that when it was finalized that oh crap, Tengu Drop was, as we knew it at least, was no more. I was like, okay, well, I know I still want to make content in the future, so I'm gonna have to pretty much go into major rush mode and get assets and everything done, and get some kind of presentation ready. And I remember specifically having to that moment where I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna need to promote this some way. I'm gonna have to create like a really quick trailer. And I remember I just have like a ridiculous amount of unfinished compositions just sitting in a library. And I remember just going through my catalog of unfinished songs and just trying to find something that immediately jumped out. And in retrospect, probably not the best song. I probably could have found something better, but I think it worked. So that sort of illustrates just sort of the rush job and the sort of immediacy of the whole switchover was, and how crazy it was. Is I really didn't have time to plan out, to a degree of what I wanted to do as part of like a solo project. And in general, I was not like prepared for just how different solo content creation is versus working as part of a team. There's a lot of intricacies, and just like in general, the major difference there is that as part of a team, you can bounce ideas off your teammates You can sort of weigh the pros and cons of decisions. And, you know, in general, it's like, you know, more minds working on a project, usually, sometimes, often, it creates better results. But as a solo, solo creator, assuming you're not, you know, technically working with a team, as I'm just, you know, it's just me, there's a very different approach, you know, which is kind of interesting. You have the creative freedom to do anything and everything that you want, you know. The sky's the limit, or the glass ceiling is really what you make of it. But you also run into the obvious, you know, every fault is your own and every success is your own. So it's very interesting, especially considering that I really have only known making YouTube content as part of a greater, you know, entity. So I think that's been the biggest learning experiences. You know, everything here is defined by my hand, and and you know, the responses are directly as a result. So it's been yeah, it's been a thing. I don't know any other way to put it other than, you know, it's been a very interesting learning experience. And, you know, if I had to look back at the way that I handled the start of the channel, there are a couple of things I would probably change, like considering that I started in October and I wanted to continue the tradition of, you know, celebrating horror games in October. I think that might have given a lot of people the wrong impression of my channel in the early days. Like, I think maybe people thought I was trying to go for the easy clickbait content with the horror games. You know, maybe like I'm trying to follow suit in like the early PewDiePie days, where like him and everybody were just doing horror games because, you know, oh, look at this person getting scared. That's easy views, if you will. But that wasn't the case. You know, it's just I'm a very big fan of October, Halloween, and horror. So I realized that my fandom probably gave off the wrong impression at the start of the channel. You know, I'm not about all the horror games. If anything, I'm pretty far from it. But yeah, that is one thing I would have changed. I probably would have foregone the tradition and been a bit more focused on the actual type of content I wanted to produce. But, you know, I can't complain. It could have been a lot worse, and, you know, I'm not sad or frustrated or angry about where I am currently anyway. So if I am looking back in regret, if you will, it's just things that I would clean up, you know, polish. You know, the thing I talk about the most, and it's probably sounding like a broken record at this point, is the fact that I am surprised that Let's Dev is like the most popular thing that I do on the channel right now. And again, that's simply from the standpoint of someone who's been on the internet. Like, on the internet, like, especially in video games, when you're bad at a video game, like, you can draw the ire of the internet very easily by just not being skilled and having the gall, you know, to put your documented footage of that terrible performance on the internet. You know, that can in fact draw some very negative people to your content. And I think that programming is even an even smaller niche that would probably draw even darker ires, you know, more negativity than you would expect, because, you know, programming is, of course, you know, it's kind of like a Dark Souls, if you will. it's a very difficult thing. It's easy to pick up, but, you know, getting anywhere in it can be very difficult and challenging. And what's interesting is I actually approach programming in that same fashion, which is always actually been the MO of Let's Dev, is to treat Let's Dev as I would like a Let's Play, with my goals, my intentions, and my hope that I can succeed in it. You know, not succeed in any sort of like, oh, I want to make a game in which I can make money on this afterwards. It's no, can I take an idea that I have on paper, or a goal in general, and can I make it a reality? You know, that's always been the MO of Let's Dev for me, is you know, the profit of knowledge, not the profit of, you know, can I turn this into a moneymaker? So I'm glad to see that. I think that, you know, the majority of the people who do watch sort of share in that same sort of approach and attitude, if you will. I mean, I could be wrong, you know, maybe it's just people trying to look for like free codes and ideas so that they can make an easy buck, you know, using something like Game Maker. So far, I haven't seen any of my ideas pop up on any app stores or anything, so, you know, I don't think that's the case. So I think it's good that so far the attitude so far has been relatively positive in the sense of, you know, this is not about profit. This is about, you know, celebrating programming and trying to get better at it and everything. And maybe I'm far off, but, you know, I like to believe the, you know, the best intentions there. But regardless, I'm really happy to see that, you know, people are joining me for that ride, because I was completely convinced at the start that that would be a dud. Because on paper, when you think about it, it's like, you know, really, what is the drawing power there? You know, oh, a guy staring at a script editor for hours, you know. But again, I think what makes it cool is the fact that it's a journey. You know, you're there from the start. You're there from the prototyping all the way to the end, where it's got full graphics and sounds and everything. And you know, you get to see that entire experience, or you get to see it, watch it crash and burn, and you know, I tap out. So yeah, I'm very happy to see that, you know, Let's Dev has found an audience, and that, you know, there is potential there to improve it, because I would love to improve it, and, you know, I don't know, maybe inspire others who are better than me to get into it and, you know, do it better than I do. Yes, I knew there was gore up there. I got too distracted. I needed to find that. I swear I saw some just flesh chunk up there. I just had to get it. Okay. I don't know what I was saying. But yeah, Let's Dev. It's really great to see that has found its audience, and that, you know, I can continue to hopefully grow it and make it something better. And I know I mentioned it before, like in a channel update, but, you know, I realized that my Let's Play stuff doesn't do as well, but, you know, I like to think that I take the same approach that I do in Let's Dev that I do with Let's Play. So I go in with a goal, and then, you know, hilarity ensues when it goes wrong, and, you know, triumphs are shared, and we can celebrate as one when things actually go right, in the rare few times that they actually do. But yeah, I mean, you know, Let's Play content for me is a nice exercise in, you know, being creative in other ways. You know, just more of a, I guess you would say, performance. I don't know. I don't necessarily consider it performance, rather than, you know, it's stretching ways to be creative in ways that you can't really do with programming. So I enjoy learning how to play certain games, like especially, you know, things like 7 Days, which are very, very harsh, you know, to new players. But the struggle is pretty damn funny, especially considering the return to the series that I've been doing recently, where no matter how hard I try, every single damn episode I'm somehow scared out of my mind by some ninja zombies. You know, that is the beauty of that series, I think, is, you know, the struggle to get better at it, but always getting thwarted by either game mechanics or straight up zombies scaring me silly. I love that dynamic, and it's that type of dynamic you don't get in doing Let's Dev, unfortunately, unless I somehow create a game where, I don't know, I randomly scare myself. But I feel like some of the nuance would be lost there. Really, it's just that if I were a more charismatic person, I guess everything in general would be a lot more entertaining. But, you know, I do what I can with what I have. You know? I mean, the reality is that, you know, when I started YouTube, I had planned to transition more into the behind the scenes again, because I'd never really had the intention of being an on-screen personality. But back when we started Tengu Drop, you know, it wasn't fair to Joe to just be the only one doing videos, and you know, we could cover a lot more ground if there were two people making videos. So it was always a team effort, despite the fact that I'm not the most charismatic person in the world, you know. I'm always trying to improve, but, you know, I'm realistic. I realize that I do have limits, but, you know, I do what I can. At the end of the day, if I'm at least, you know, helping someone, you know, if they're having a bad day and my videos, you know, make them feel better about their day, you know, that's more than enough for me. And something that always motivates me to continue to try and, you know, improve, especially, and continue to try and create entertaining, create entertaining content is, you know, way back, I wish I had saved it too, because it's just, it's such an impactful, you know, message that I got. It was just someone who left I don't know, either it was a comment or an email, can't remember at this point, but it was just someone who was thanking me for my videos because he was able to watch them with his son, and, you know, they were able to enjoy it together, and and that has always, you know, really resonated with me in a way where it motivates me to continue to do what I'm doing, and you know, I just that just warmed my heart in a way that, and I don't know, and it's something that motivates me to this day, and I wanna create content that can continue to do that, you know, bring people together and you know, just entertain them. And so when I see comments like, you know, people saying that I deserve more subs and more views on my content, it always makes me feel better. Even if they are just saying it, you know, even if you guys are just saying it to be nice, you know, I really appreciate it, you know. That's always been my goal with doing my videos, whether it's Let's Dev or Let's Play. It's always just been about entertaining people, and, you know, that has always been the short-term goal. And as always, you know, there's always long-term goals to accomplish in the future if I can ever reach them, but short-term, I'm just happy when people are entertained, you know. And it's honestly one of the best feelings to know that my stupid antics can entertain someone. So yeah. It's really good. It's really cool. I know I'm not, you know, the most popular, or, you know, there's a lot of shortcomings. Like, I know for a fact that my networking sucks. I don't know how to get better at it. I think I'm getting too old. Like, I don't understand social media and how to use it properly. I try, but I end up coming off always as like that weird old guy who's trying to be cool and hip. I mean, I'm not even that old, you know, to be honest. I'm not that old. I'm just, the sensibilities of social media just, I don't understand them, so therefore it's hard to take advantage of what social media could probably help me do in terms of like networking. But, you know, those are my difficulties to overcome. But yeah, you know, regardless of that, you know, one day maybe I'll get good at it, and I'll get better at promoting myself, and, you know, maybe those messages of you deserve more will finally be something that I can help facilitate in some fashion. And, you know, we can end up doing more on this channel, because again, short-term goal is always to entertain, but long-term goal, I would love to do more. And by more, I mean, you know, actually doing some good in the world. And I don't usually talk about it because I realize that it comes off very like Miss University, so I don't want to sound like I'm pandering or sound like I'm doing any sort of like PR stunt. So I'll just leave it at, you know, it would be great if I could somehow entertain and better the world, you know. This is getting a lot more sentimental than I expected, but I don't even know. I'm picking up trash, getting all sentimental. What's happening right now? I don't know. In general, I'm just glad that people have enjoyed what I have done so far, and, you know, I'll be so happy to continue doing it for as long as I can. And even more so now, because goddamn, this computer, it's a trooper. It's hanging in there, man. I've been having a slew of hardware problems right now, but it's keeping up, and I'm able to still make content. So I'm trying to keep at it as hard as I can, and hopefully it keeps up, because I don't know how long more it has. I'm hoping that these are just temporary issues, but god dang, dude. But nonetheless, looking at the timer, I think I've been talking a little bit too much. maybe getting a little too emotional about it, but I just want to thank you all again for being here, supporting the channel. You guys have been the driving force to keep doing this, because I wasn't sure how well I would do with solo content. You know, seeing your support for things like Let's Dev, you know, it really motivates me to keep doing it and do it better every single time. So, you know, hopefully I can keep it up, and, you know, hopefully you guys will continue to support it, and, you know, we'll grow it into something bigger and better. Yeah, I'm starting to just put all my words together. Merging my words. But yeah, so I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. Hopefully I'll continue to make content you guys enjoy, and hopefully, you know, we'll be able to do bigger and better things in the future. You know, 1 year down, hopefully many more years to go. But yeah, for now I think we'll leave it there. In all this lovely gore, and hopefully this series will be back. You know, again, under better circumstances, you know, better topics, less grogginess of being under the weather. We'll see. But yeah, for now, I think that'll wrap up a nice 1 year retrospective. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys next time. So I continue to finish this gore. I have to finish this gore. Like this little gore pile, I'm gonna have to finish it before I actually end, because otherwise I will be obsessing over it. I'll be like, I can't believe I logged out and finished the video without cleaning up this gore pile of body parts. Actually, since I have a minute here, be sure to leave your favorite videos, your favorite moments. I don't know what brought you to the channel. If you used to watch my content on Tengu Drop first, I would love to know how many of y'all transitioned over with me. You know, whatever brought you to the dance and kept you dancing. Yeah. So be sure to leave them all in the comments below. Would love to hear from y'all. There we go. Good. Oh, in their chips. Okay. Oh, come on now. There you go. All right. Well, there we go. All right. See you guys next. Oh, gross. See you guys next time.
Thank you.